What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Football Therapy, man. With me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Just realised I haven't checked the second camera. Yes, that looks like it's in focus. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Today we are reflecting on Thomas Tuchel's comments about transfers, manager of the month, Brentford, Lukaku, all of that gear. 5 substitutions as well. Lots to get into. Do consider subscribing if you want to. Takes a second, hit the bell notifications icon if you choose to sub, and thank you to all of you who've dropped a like on the video, because it helps. It really does help, and it takes a second. Done. Done diddly for. Now, before we get into today's content, I want to remind those of you who have access to London at the moment, who wish to attend the protest, the No to Rickets protest. It was at midday, 3 hours before kickoff outside Stamford Bridge. There is information available on Twitter and Instagram. A lot of big content creators, including myself, have been posting about it. I can't get to London, I won't be able to attend, but many of you want to attend and were asking about a protest. I think almost 100% of the Chelsea fans don't want the Ricketts family to take over Chelsea. And it seems like not only are Rain giving them preferential treatment, it looks like there's like articles coming out to try and, you know, basically sour the name of Todd Boehly and stuff like that, saying he's got shares in Russian companies, but the truth is his connection isn't that profound, and it's basically these like pieces are starting to come out. You have the opportunity, if you want, to go and make your voice heard at Stamford Bridge on midday before the kickoff. So do consider going if you have the ability to. Right, let's talk about what Thomas Tuchel said. There's lots of stuff to reference in his press conference. Lots of stuff that I enjoyed. I'm going to paraphrase a lot in terms of, I'm not going to quote him directly, so you know, do bear that in mind. First of all, let's talk about Manager of the Month. Mikel Arteta won Manager of the Month. He's done quite well with Arsenal, but Chelsea won every single game in every single competition, despite there being a unprecedented historical media storm around the sanctions of Chelsea Football Club, and things were ever changing at 100 miles an hour. Thomas Tuchel was rightly being praised for his immaculate job as a football coach, but his immaculate job as the face of Chelsea Football Club, as this sort of diplomatic yet compassionate figurehead, which, you know, wasn't in the job description. Oh yeah, we're going to get sanctioned due to a war, and you will be, you know, a target or subject to talk about all this stuff. He's been magnificent. So he, for many people, was, how could you have anyone else win Manager of the Month? Mikel Arteta won it. And we know Thomas Tuchel isn't into individual awards. He thinks the Ballon d'Or's pretty silly. He just thinks football's a team sport. So I knew he wasn't going to be bothered by that. And a journalist posed this question to him and said, look, you know, you've won all this through these times. Yeah, Mikel Arteta won Manager of the Month. And he just went, okay. And he's like, well, let's keep it that way. He can win, like, you know, again, I'm paraphrasing here, so this is not a direct quote, but essentially what he was insinuating is, yeah, let's just keep it this way. He can win that awards, and we'll just win every game. Mic drop. So it's like the Mourinho vibes of when, you know, I can't remember what game it was when they won, and they were like, maybe it was against Man City. When they said to him, oh, you know, Man City had, like, you know, 80% of the ball and stuff, and he was like, that's fine. They can take the ball home. I'll go home with 3 points. I'll take the 3 points. So you gotta love that. And I know he wasn't trying to be like sassy like Mourinho, Tuchel, but you gotta love that. Like, he really doesn't give a crap about individual awards. He's like, look, mate, I don't care. Let's keep it like this. I will win no individual awards. We just keep winning games. I couldn't be happier. Bang. Love that from the Chelsea manager. In terms of injuries, of course, Ben Chilwell isn't available for the Brentford game. Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't available either, although he has been training. Many speculated he might make a return. Of course, Tuchel often does favour Hudson-Odoi and utilises him. Reece James is ready to go. I would expect him to start. Hopefully he does start, but Reece James is good to go. And I've been watching the UEFA Champions League highlights of him against Juventus on Twitter. Oh my god, incroyable. Chef's kiss. Reece James. I said, like, you could make a very strong case for Reece James being Chelsea's most complete player. Speed, strength, defending, attacking, transition, hold-up play, precision, dead balls, passes. He used to be a striker, so he's got amazing goal scoring as well as creativity and assisting. He can play centre-back, he can play full-back, he can play wing-back, he can play CDM, he can play CM. The only thing you could probably say Reece James is, because he's not that tall, is he's not going to maybe win that many headers, but you don't need him to. Anyway, I don't need to wax lyrical about Reece James to you, viewer. You know all about him. So, he also spoke about, let's get into this. Cesar Azpilicueta, contract extended. He's like, yeah, I knew about this. he's like, I love it. I love how he says that to the media. He's like, he could just be like, yes, it's good for us. Move on. But he's like, yeah, I always knew. I knew if we played a certain amount of games and we play them, he was extending. So, wicked, mate. Don't worry about it. He's our captain. And they were like, does this make it more likely? Or, you know, forgive me, I don't know the journalist who asked the question. But he was like, does this make it more likely that Azpilicueta is going to stay? It's like, yeah, much more likely. He's our captain. We need him. We can't sign players at the moment. He's basically saying, look, mate, he's not going. He's going to stay for another season and we rely on him. Which, you know, recent videos I've been reporting on the stories that Barcelona seem pretty done. You know, they thought they were going to get him, basically. And we would have given him, you know, out of all the defenders, we probably would have given Azpi our blessing, right? But he also commented on the other defenders linked to Barcelona. He knew and nodded when a journalist posed the question, oh yeah, you know, Rudiger's stepbrother or half-brother agent has been speaking to Barcelona. And Tuchel was like, yeah, okay, I've heard that. He's obviously been briefed about that by the PR guy. And he pretty much said, like, quite positive stuff. He was like, he's like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that big clubs are speaking to Rudiger, a player of this quality who's out of contract. But he says, he said something like, I remain confident, like, I'm still confident he's going to stay. And this is something that Tuchel has maintained throughout all of this. Before he was linked to, like, you know, Bayern, PSG, Juve, Barcelona, Real Madrid, he was like, yeah, he's going to stay. And then you got Rudiger being interviewed saying, I'd love to stay here. He pretty much said, like, I'd love to stay here. Tuchel's like, yeah, I'm confident he's going to stay. Maybe he's just spoken to the club and they're like, yeah, we're probably going to give him what he wants. We're just going to see, you know, where we can get to here. They know Rudiger's kids are here in the UK and they've both were born here. He's happy here. He loves his teammates. He loves his manager. I think he loves the Premier League. He has and he knows he has the opportunity. He says, look, I think Rudiger was once quoted after the Champions League win saying, you know, legend's a strong word. I don't think, you know, it's difficult to come to Chelsea, be in and out of the team, you know, with different managers, then have a really strong 6 months and be a legend. But he recognises that he's in history now. He's part of Chelsea. He's like, look, legend is a strong word, but I can be part of Chelsea history. Now, can Rudiger become a Chelsea legend? Well, he'd have to play until Thiago Silva years, I think, to become a legend. But he can be a massively top-tier, world-class player for a few years for us if he stays. I think he recognises that, and I think he recognises Thomas Tuchel's part of that. Tuchel sounds quite confident that he will stay at Chelsea. Now, one player... Let's read the quotes, actually, because I'll need to reference it. Because, of course, Andreas Christensen... I think Nizar Kinsella, of course, Goal.com... asked him, look, man, Naz didn't say that, but he was like, you know, John Laporta, the Barcelona president, he said, look, we've already pretty much signed 2 players. One's a central defender and one's a central midfielder. Now, the midfielder, it could be whoever, you know, you might know who it is. I don't really care. But many are speculating that the centre-back is Andreas Christensen, and Tuchel pretty much said, like, he nodded and was like, I've heard the rumours. So I think it is Andreas Christensen. I think he's gone to Barca. Remember, in terms of Tuchel, you know, he was always positive about Antonio Rudiger. He kind of like was a bit of an outburst with Christensen at one point, saying that he's talked the talk as a Chelsea boy, now he's got to walk the walk and sign the contract. I think he probably knew there was a danger of him going. I think he probably knows now he's gone, to the point where he's saying to the media, I've heard the rumours. I think, like, yes, guys, I think he's probably going to Barcelona. So, moving on, Romelu Lukaku, lots of articles about him of late saying, you know, Inter Milan, willing to take a pay cut, wants to go back, wants to leave Chelsea. So, Thomas Tuchel said on this, the situation in the moment, we cannot talk, sell or buy players, so we don't even need to think about it. And of course, he's referring to the fact how Chelsea are sanctioned, so therefore we can't make sales, transfers, loans or whatever. Romelu still plays a big part of us. He wants to play. He used the time off to deconnect on holiday, but he's come back. He feels him motivated and strong in training. So he basically also said, like, look, he's not playing the part he wants to play, and this is something Tuchel's echoed before regarding Romelu Lukaku. I think he's pretty saying, look, mate, look, I'm not stupid. You're not stupid. He's not happy, and I'm not gonna like. You know, he hasn't said those words, but I think there's an inference there of like, look, we know he's not happy. I think he's just pretty much said that he wants to play a bigger part. In terms of meeting new owners as well, he explained how he hasn't met any new owners yet. He knows how they'll have the opportunity to meet the, you know, Marina, Chairman, Buck, and then eventually Thomas Tuchel. And he joked around about them maybe not wanting to meet him, or he thinks he should be involved at the end. Which kind of makes sense. Don't distract him away from the football coaching. And finally, he was also, I knew he'd be like this, he was very, very happy about the 5 subs. He was campaigning about it before, and you could tell like he was quite passionate when asked about it. He said it's like a fantastic idea. He referenced the fact how all the other European leagues have 5 substitutions. It's only the Premier League that doesn't. And he's probably lucid to the fact how the lower teams, and you know, I've referenced this before, probably don't have as much of it as an advantage as the bigger teams because it's just bringing on more quality and more mass. But he says, look, dare I say, it's good for everyone because I've coached underdogs teams. He's probably referencing Mainz and stuff. And I would have loved to have 5 subs, which I don't doubt at all. I completely imagine he's telling the truth. He would have loved to have 5 subs, but that's because he just, I don't know, every manager loves the game and tactics and stuff, but I don't necessarily think all managers would feel that like that. I have said I do think it would benefit all the clubs in some ways, like bringing on more academy players, you know, the small, yeah, just stuff like that. It does make the game more exciting generally for me because there's just more stuff in it, and it's not, you know, it's not ruining the game, it's not congesting the game, it's just giving more tactical flexibility. And you know, you might bring 2 guys on and keep a sub free for an injury. Now you might bring 4 guys on, and you know, that guy that wasn't in the original plans to come on, and he drops a masterclass in the final 30 minutes of a game and turns his season around and becomes an integral player. This is how stories are made, you know. So I think that's cool, and I like it. Thomas Tuchel's very happy with the 5 subs. So we've spoken about new owners. Obviously, loads of stuff's happening. We'll get more news probably after this weekend. Certainly be loads of headlines regarding the No to Ricketts protest. So we'll see how the boys get on with that. And yeah, lots to go on. Chelsea are back on the pitch to face Brentford. I think it'll be a very strong team from Chelsea. Thiago Silva is probably good to go because he came back a day earlier and he trained. Christian Pulisic played loads of matches and loads of minutes for USA and is jet lagged, so he probably won't feature as things stand. Let me know what you think, guys. Thank you for joining me today on this video. Please do drop a like, comment if you want to, and subscribe again if you want to. Alright, I'm out. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, bitch.